started playing the piano when I was 5 years old. I used to watch the All Blacks games with my old man on the couch, and I heard national anthems, and those were the first songs that I heard consistently. And I started tinkling on the piano that we had in our hallway and the piano in my grandparents' place, trying to play the anthems. And it was then that my parents thought, why don't they send me to piano lessons and keyboard lessons that were on offer at primary school. And so I did those lessons at primary school and intermediate for the duration of intermediate and primary school. And so after that, I just played by myself because I found learning the theory and the finger placements really difficult, and my piano teachers got quite frustrated at that. And so after that, I was actually just learning off YouTube tutorials, and I just simply had an iPod and I just tried to replicate what I was hearing onto the piano keys. During high school, I didn't really do as much piano as I did during my intermediate and primary school years. I was really into my sport, and so I just really used the piano as a hobby when I needed a break, and I wanted to learn a song that I found the motivation to learn. So in 2014, I went to Lincoln University, and on campus, there was this absolutely beautiful Yamaha grand piano on campus, which was actually available to anyone to play. And that reignited my love for piano, and I discovered a bit of classical music, more neoclassical piano music, and I discovered a couple of neoclassical artists which I really admired, and I listened to their music while I studied. And I just started posting songs of my pop covers to Facebook and Instagram, and they seemed to be quite well received. And just the thrill of being able to play this beautiful Yamaha grand piano motivated me to keep learning, and it was just a great tool to have. In my final year at Lincoln University, it became a really tough year. I broke up with my girlfriend at the time, and for the first time in my life I really felt really depressed and really upset. And when I broke up, I said to my friends and family, look, it was a mutual breakup. It was, I'll be alright, it's just life. And I didn't ask for any sort of help at all, and because I didn't ask for help, I really started spiraling downhill into some really bad patches, and where I didn't really want to get up. I didn't want to do my washing. Just the littlest of things became really tough. One of the darkest days of my life came during this period, and during this day I had some really bad thoughts, and I really had to look at some of the photos and videos that I had on my laptop of my parents and family, of old Christmases, times when we were all happy and smiling. And after watching that and seeing those photos, it really motivated me to speak up about what I was feeling, because I just didn't want to do anything that would upset my parents and my friends and my whole family. When I got better, I started to refer back to those recordings of my improvisations during the dark days on the Yamaha grand piano at Lincoln University, and I wanted to actually one day record these compositions and structure them so then I could just reflect my story of what I went through. Getting into the recording studio became a reality in December 2019, and I was able to record my compositions on a beautiful Kaha grand piano at Massey University. And once I recorded all of those 18 compositions that came from those times where I was struggling in 2017, I really wanted to do something about mental health in New Zealand. As we know, the suicide rates in New Zealand are quite high. 647 people took their own lives last year in New Zealand, and that's probably reflective across the world. And so I wanted to really do something about that. And so with my release of my album Breaking the Silence, which is to really raise awareness about mental health in New Zealand and breaking the stigma and silent suffering that many people in New Zealand and across the world are doing with their mental health, to try and reverse that and create some sort of a society and environment where we can talk about our mental health and be happier and not feel afraid to talk about it. And so as part of that, all proceeds from the album and concerts that I'd love to do in the future will be going towards mental health foundations. My message for those who are watching this video and who may be mentally struggling themselves is that it's never weak or shameful to speak up about your mental health, and that by speaking up and no longer suffering silently, you actually feel so much better, or at least I did myself. Just remember that you matter and you're worth fighting for, because you've got people close to you who love you and appreciate you and who'll be there for you in your time of need. So, kia kaha. My name is Samuel Philip Cooper.